welcome everybody. It is great to see so many people here and to have such experience and such a diversity of organisations in the room. So really appreciate you making the time for this, the first in a series of Activate talks, and we'd be delighted to be co-hosting this event with Unicef, and really pleased, of course, that we're kicking off this series with a focus on education.
Globally, despite having attended 4 years of school, 130 million children do not know how to read, count, or write.
Technology is more and more affordable. Connectivity, in most cases, not always in South Africa or China, is pretty good. Expectations of our users and our learners are very, very high.
What kind of technology then is proving useful now in education?
Well, I think it's the whole spectrum. We've seen all the examples of kids engaged in tablets, as I say, through to these little really cheap devices.
And I think we as an industry have a big responsibility to come back with something that works and something that inspires them and gives them results.
And I think it's education in so many different ways in so many different places. It's no one technology that is the right way to deliver the platform.
We need to engage adolescents and youth as agents of change to identify solutions for their context.
What do you think needs to be done to get
Well,
content to be relevant and used
Well,
by children?
teachers and facilitators and communities have to make that material relevant.
The most inspiring innovation, some of the coolest and most cunning innovation takes place in the developing world, because their innovation is forged out of necessity.
So what Block by Block is about taking young people is our focus. It's not only about young people, but it's about local stakeholders, mostly in developing areas, and giving them a tool that can help them communicate their ideas about how their public spaces can be reimagined and rebuilt.
And what's the magic formula for academia? We talk about science and we talk about making, but the most important piece is the inspiration.
So it's about empowering people to communicate in a space where they are not otherwise able to.
What happens when you don't give children creative learning opportunities early in life? It stifles innovation, it stifles flexible thinking, a can-do approach, ambition.
We want to bring that spark. We want to expose kids to as many experiences as possible, so they get a big question, a big dream that will help them survive through school.
How do you use the technology that's already available for populations in the most marginalized countries?
We have here an example of what the pie looks like.
Should we be looking at wearables as a thing for what we're talking about today?
We found very good learning outcomes in terms of the numeracy skills and the programming skills.
And we have a program with Unicef called Wearables for Good, and it's actually a contest to find applications of wearables for Unicef and how you improve the life of children.
What we've created is a product called My Choice Pad. It's a piece of software that's a language development platform. It uses a combination of sign language with symbols and pictures and audio.
It's not just only about just transmitting the knowledge to the brains of the children. We need to think about management of that, how we are going to manage that, how we are going to sustain that.
But we also need to prove that it's value for money. Governments think it's great if something's effective, but if it's too expensive, then it's not that interesting anymore.
I think as an industry, there's a big onus and pressure on us to change the way we build products. For too long, we've just shipped textbooks and we expect that to be a one-dimensional experience. I think we need to be testing learning products in classrooms, very early stage, and then coming back and improving and iterating all the time.
So we need more smart people, but also kind people to work together.
We need to build local solutions. That means solutions that are tailored for the context, of course, but they're also built on the ground, and they're built by the people who are going to use them.